Our next guest received critical acclaim with her 1972 Broadway debut in Promises, Promises. Most recently, she's toured the country with her Playing Our Song, and soon to be making her film debut in Grease 2. Doesn't that sound great? Here's Lorna Luft.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
You were telling me, I was in a restaurant with my wife, and I saw you and your dad, and we sat down and talked for like 2 hours. It was unbelievable. And I was so fascinated with what you had to go through to get this role. Because I would think Judy Garland's daughter doesn't have to audition for anything.
It wasn't easy. Wrong.
What did you have to do to get this role? Tell them.
Oh, gosh. I had to audition, and then
You had to diet, too, right?
Well, yeah, I did. I had to audition, then I had to screen test, but I was doing this while I was dieting. And then I went back to New York, and then I waited, and then I had to go back to Los Angeles again and do the whole thing over.
And when you say audition and screen test, you take that for granted, but they don't know what that's all about. What did you do at the audition? What did you do at the test?
I sang a Leslie Gore song at the audition, and I read for Pat Birch, our director, and for Alan Carr, and for Bill Oakes, our executive producer. And then they said, all right, we've set up a screen test. And I thought, oh, isn't that terrific? I found out they had set up a lot of screen tests for a lot of people.
How many girls for the role that you were after?
Oh, I don't know, a lot.
Hundreds, probably.
Yeah, hundreds. And then I went and I auditioned. And I screen tested. And that was real nerve-wracking because I'd never done it. And I'd never done it, but I had...
What is it like? What do you do? Read, copy, or do you...
They gave us
read,
a scene, an entire scene, and I met one of the people that I was going to screen test with who got one of the roles, along with myself. And I screen tested, which is, you walk in and they built a set, and they did a whole lot of things, and they had cameras and everything, and I walked in there and I thought, oh, this is very nice, and walked out and went, ah! Walked back in my dressing room and went, I want to go home! Terrified. Scared me to death. and
Does that make you better when you're nervous, you think?
Oh, I hope so.
I really think. I think when people say, do you get butterflies? I hope I never stop getting butterflies.
Me neither.
Oh, God.
And I did the screen test with 2 people, and then I came back and I did another screen test with another person.
Came back from New York?
No, I came back the next day.
Oh, next day.
And it was interesting because everybody screen tested together for this film. I mean, they put everybody in one room, so we saw who we were up against.
Oh, my,
Talk about
that is
Star
cruel.
Wars.
That is Star Wars.
And it was nerve-wracking, but it's like our director, Pat Birch, is from the theater, from Broadway, and she's quite an astounding woman. And, she choreographed me, and they're playing our song, and that's how I met her, and I've known Alan for a long time. So after I screen tested, I went back and I waited by the phone.
But even though you knew Alan for a long time, you weren't a shoo-in.
No. Oh, no. So then I went back home, and I waited for the call.
That's New York, right?
New York. And the phone would ring. I was perfectly cool. I'd go like that. That's how I felt.
This is live, How are we doing on time, Eddie? Do we have to show the clip now? No. Okay.
And so I sat by the phone, and then they kept stretching it out, and then finally I flew back to Los Angeles. I auditioned all over again, and they said, you got it.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you've seen the film?
Yes, I have.
What was it like seeing it the first time in its entirety?
Well, the first time I saw it was real rough. It was real rough. And if you don't think like a producer or a director, you really do not know what you're looking at. Because they keep saying, wait till it's done with the thing, and you put the clips and this and that, wait. And you go, oh, that's nice.
And you don't know what they're going to cut out.
And you don't know what's going to... And then when I saw it the second time, it's beautiful.
Do you ever see anybody other than yourself when you're looking at yourself? Tell the truth. Do you see the other people?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Because I'd have a tendency to just watch myself, I think, do something dumb like that, and then have to go back and say, what did the other people do?
Well,
Isn't that human nature? Wouldn't you just keep looking at yourself? Oh.
I did a lot of that.
How'd you think you looked?
Well, at the first time I turned around to Pat, I said, could I do this again? And she said, no, this is it.
This is it.
No,
tell them what you've done today, because it's astounding. You people don't know. Everybody thinks this is a glamorous business. Now go ahead and tell them. From the time you got up. You got up at what time?
I got up at 7 o'clock, and then I went and I did a very early
television show.
Television show.
What time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
And then I went and I did another television show. Then I did a radio show. Then I did a lot of interviews.
How many interviews?
I don't know, I forgot. And then I had to go and I had to meet all of the press across the country at the screening
All
of the film.
at one time?
Yes. And I
Did they like the film?
Yes.
That's great.
They
That's
did.
Great.
And
I love that. I love that you're still excited.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And then I waltzed over to you, and I've got an interview at 12 midnight.
12 midnight? Who would interview you at 12 midnight?
An insomniac. Someone who doesn't go to sleep.
Oh, that's wonderful. Can we see the clip? What are we going to see?
This clip is my screen test scene. This is the scene that I screen tested with the young man on the screen.
With this young man we're going to see.
Adrian
Then he got the role, too.
As Nagarelli, yes. And this is where I finally tell him that I have had enough of him pushing me around.
Good
and
for
this
you.
is the scene that I auditioned with. I
Lorna
screen
Luft,
tested.
Steve, well, listen to this, starring in Grease, too.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi. Hold it! What, are you crazy? Come on, Paulette. Look, I told you before, you are not going to go out there like that.
Oh, I know. I gotta put a little something on my face.
What? You have got to put a little something on your body.
But I gotta dress like this, Johnny. I'm summer.
Look, then get yourself a pair of galoshes, a snowsuit scarf, and be winter. And that is Johnny Nagarelli's final word.
Yeah? Well, you want to hear my final word, Mr. Push Everyone Around, Nagarelli? Maybe you can bully some of the
cool,
chicks
Paulette.
in this school, but this chick has been bullied by one Johnny
Ow.
Nagarelli for the last time. I may not be the classiest
Ow.
chick in this school, but I'm the best you're ever gonna get. So take it or leave it.
Oh, that's wonderful, Lorna. That's great.
It's wonderful. It's fun. It's so much fun, this movie.
To bruise that guy up, it was fun, huh?
Yeah.
You
It was.
punched him full of holes. You were,
Well.
You're a method actor.
Oh, no. I mean, he's a big person. I just sort of gave him a little, just a little.
Can I get serious for a moment? Because I've known you long enough. Living in the shadow of what you live in and what you have lived in, your mother and your sister, Liza. I mean, has it been rough?
You know, I don't think it's been any rougher for me than it is for anyone starting out in this business. It's just different.
But don't you think that people expect even much more of you than they would ordinarily?
Maybe, but you know, if you go in with thinking like that, it'll drive you nuts.
Of course.
So all you can do is go in there and do the best you can, and the best, you know, that's expected of you. And I think that if you work hard enough and you are determined and you stay there, and if you're nice,
Well, then you're going to make it. Because
You'll
you're all
be
of those
terrific.
things. You're going to make it. I like you, and I think you're going to really
Well, I
go.
like you.
And you're going to live out here, I'll bet, because you're going to be so busy.
I will.
Yeah, of course. We're out of time. Tomorrow night, our guests will be Lou Grant's Ed Asner, Little House on the Prairie's Karen Grassley, former pro football quarterback Dan Pastorini, and Joyce Chilson. Good night. Good night, Lorna.
Good night, Lorna.
Wonderful to see you.